Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another fantastic story with your favorite storyteller, spiritual teacher, curse breaker, light worker, and ancestral healer, and the voice of truth. I wrote my third book, Ava's Victory, and you can find it on Amazon and read it immediately if you want. And I wrote this book because I wanted to break the silence of generational curses, mistreatment, rejection, shame, blame, guilt, judgment, and abandonment wounds I experience in my life from the people I love, my family. Generational curses run in many family lineages, and it runs in yours too. I'm not here to blame, but to bring to light the disconnection, toxicity, hatred, trauma that happened. I felt it. My grandpa felt it, my mom felt it, my son, my firstborn son felt it too. And we are carrying our father's wounds and bleeding our ancestors' wounds. And those who feel it know about it. But there is always room for healing and miracles. And generational curses are passed down to future generations through the actions of our parents, grandparents, great-great-grandparents, or generations before them, and our own experiences. They are also passed down through stories. So we can all remember the stories we were told growing up and the explanations we were given. And some of you might remember how your ancestors were mistreated by their families. And I gathered all the stories and found specific patterns and realized I didn't want to carry all this weight anymore. It was too heavy for me, and it wasn't mine. It is what it is. I lost everything I ever loved and owned. It wasn't my fault, and it wasn't theirs. But somebody had to put an end in this repeated, unfinished story of the past. So I drew the line and said it ends here. And I was the chosen one to feel all this pain and end this. I didn't let this pain break me. Instead, I broke out from generational curse and trauma and rebuilt my life from nothing to everything. I choose love and forgiveness above all. And I'm the phoenix of my lineage, and my ancestors' wildest dream come true. I closed that generational gap and ancestral abandonment wounds by healing me. And I healed those before and after me. What the old did is not okay. It will never be okay. But I choose to rise above this. I decided to shine my light and bring the truth to light. To leave to future generations my legacy, my good deeds. As an award-winning author, storyteller, humanitarian, author of 3 books, wrote many stories and made many accomplishments, and speaker, the voice of truth, and inspiring and setting the world on fire with my amazing stories of truth about ancestral curses and trauma that run in family lineages. I healed, and I'm here to provide ancestral healing to all who suffered abandonment, ancestral abandonment wounds. It's not over because I lost. It's over because I quit running and chasing. I'm done allowing others to judge and shame me. No matter what anyone says or does, I'm good. And I released the need to be loved and accepted. I choose to love and accept myself fully. And I prioritize my peace and serenity. I didn't come here to play their game or anyone's game. I came to change the game and transmute pain and suffering into love. And I walked away and healed. And I am a clear bloodline. And know I've changed the course of history for future generations and my destiny. I did things differently from my lineage. I didn't allow them to continue using power, ego, shame, guilt, manipulation, abuse, playing games over me. I choose peace, serenity, love, happiness, and joy. And I decided to rewrite my story and end the unfinished stories of my ancestors that I have inherited. I choose freedom, and I won't allow anyone to mess with me anymore. I walk in my power, authenticity, wholeness, and truth, and I am the truth. I broke cycles and choose to rise, and nobody else could come with me in this journey. I was alone, and I worked through the karma. I have been to hell, and I know what it is to suffer and turn pain into strength and power. I worked through my shadows and level up. And I did things I said I would do. And I did them, not to prove them, but to prove myself. I did them for me, for my family, for future generations, for the betterment of this world, to heal this world, to help save this world, to help connect the world. And I'm a walking example of what it is to rise from the ashes as a phoenix and a shining star I am. There is so much in me to be proud, and I look forward for this new beginning as a clear bloodline, and I believe everything will be better for me from now on. What story of your parents, grandparents, and ancestors are you living today? Ancestral stories continue to affect our current lives. So it's time to break the silence and start sharing yours. And it's time to end all those unfinished stories of the past. And I'm here to provide the specific healing to heal your ancestral abandonment wounds and help you rewrite your story and change your destiny. Ancestral trauma stories refer to as stories that are about inherited trauma that someone may feel, although they didn't experience it as themselves firsthand, or maybe they did. Ancestral healing is the process of revealing and releasing inherited wounds and trauma passed down by our ancestors. And it's the positive and negative side issues that pass through the bloodlines from generation to generation. The first step is to examine your family tree and acknowledge all the traumas in your family lineage. And this will allow you to be more cautious of your current tendencies, which represents the outcome of generational trauma, the behavior manifestation. And by exploring your family history and talking to your relatives, you can connect to your present reality and change it. It's not going to be easy, and it's very painful, and it requires resilience on your part, because you need to accept that you have been bleeding your ancestors' wounds, and it can be both confusing and terrifying, acknowledging the horrific experiences our relatives lived through and the lasting effects they have on us today. And seeing reality for what it is, it may seem unsettling initially. In this process, you might also discover other family members who unknowingly feed into this cycle. For example, through emotional blackmail or possessiveness, setting boundaries and changing their interaction parameters can benefit you and your relationships. And acknowledging the grieving gap can evoke some of your ugliest feelings, the ones you've been subconsciously suppressing for a long time. And when you grieve, you feel. When you feel, you heal. And that's the good part of this process. It can take time, but it is possible. And history doesn't have to repeat itself. We no longer must experience heartbreak, and we can heal heartbreaks through love and forgiveness. And history and heartbreaks can become a stepping stone in rewriting our new story, changing the narrative, creating characters that are loving and caring to each other, and finally ending the unfinished stories of the past. You can either stay stuck and repeat the unfinished stories of the past, or start the procedure to end the cycle. Be mature enough to say this ends here and heal yourselves and your lineage. So if you're ready, I will light up your journey. This is no turning turning back to the way things were. There is only moving forward as a clear bloodline and changing the course of history for future generations. Think about it, and I'm here for you to provide this specific ancestral healing. Thank you so much.